The music world is buzzing, and it's not for good reasons. Drake is reportedly facing one of the biggest public backlashes of his career. Sources say that after recent events involving Kendrick Lamar, Drake is being called the greatest loser of all time by fans, insiders, and even some industry voices. According to sources, tensions between the two rap giants escalated during high-profile appearances and social media exchanges, culminating in Kendrick allegedly banning Drake from Los Angeles, a city central to music, networking, and industry influence. Fans are shocked, insiders are talking, and the drama has now reached levels that could have real consequences for Drake's reputation, relationships, and career opportunities. Sources claim that this ban isn't just symbolic. Kendrick reportedly made it clear to his inner circle, collaborators, and industry partners that Drake should not be welcomed in certain circles, events, or private industry spaces in LA. Analysts suggest that this move could significantly limit Drake's access to key events, collaborations, and high-profile networking opportunities that define the city's music scene. The ban, according to insiders, isn't just about ego. It's a strategic assertion of power, influence, and control. Fans have taken to social media to weigh in, dissecting every incident, post, and rumored confrontation between the two artists. Some are siding with Kendrick, praising the move as a bold statement of authority, while others are criticizing Drake, claiming that repeated missteps have led to this unprecedented backlash. Industry insiders say the public reaction is intense, with media coverage and online commentary amplifying the feud far beyond private disagreements. Analysts note that this situation highlights how reputation, influence, and public perception can intersect with strategic moves in the music business, turning personal conflicts into career-defining moments. The story isn't just about drama. It's about power, leverage, and positioning in one of the world's most competitive industries. In the next few minutes, we'll break down what led to Kendrick's ban, why fans are calling Drake the greatest loser, and what this means for both artists' futures. From behind-the-scenes insights to social media explosions, this is a moment that could redefine the dynamics of modern hip-hop forever. The drama between Drake and Kendrick Lamar reportedly reached a fever pitch in recent weeks, and insiders say it's unlike anything the industry has seen before. Sources reveal that tensions escalated after a series of high-profile public appearances, cryptic social media posts, and subtle jabs that fans quickly picked up on. By the time Kendrick allegedly issued the ban, Drake was already facing massive backlash online, with fans calling him the greatest loser of all time. Industry insiders suggest that this feud isn't just about personal rivalry. It's about influence, control, and reputation in the competitive landscape of hip-hop. According to sources, Kendrick's decision to bar Drake from Los Angeles is not simply symbolic. It represents a strategic assertion of dominance over key industry spaces, collaborations, and events that define the city's music scene. Reports indicate that Drake's recent actions may have contributed to Kendrick's move. Sources claim that repeated public missteps, questionable social media posts, and confrontational statements made by Drake in front of fans and industry insiders added fuel to an already tense situation. Analysts suggest that while Drake has built a massive global brand, his public miscalculations, whether intentional or not, have weakened his standing in certain influential circles, particularly in Los Angeles, which remains a critical hub for music, networking, and career advancement. Insiders note that Kendrick's ban is as much about sending a message as it is about protecting his own reputation and influence in the city. Social media has played a central role in amplifying the feud. Fans, influencers, and industry commentators reportedly dissected every interaction between Drake and Kendrick, analyzing posts, videos, and lyrics for hidden meanings. According to sources, the online discourse has reached unprecedented levels, with hashtags trending and debates erupting across platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Analysts say that the virality of the feud has intensified pressure on both artists, forcing them to consider not only their personal rivalry, but also how public perception may influence collaborations, endorsements, and industry relationships. Sources emphasize that in today's music industry, social media isn't just a reflection of drama. It actively shapes the stakes of these conflicts. Insiders report that Kendrick's ban has implications far beyond a personal dispute. By restricting Drake's access to certain events, collaborations, and private industry circles in Los Angeles, sources say Kendrick is effectively controlling who has influence in one of hip-hop's most vital ecosystems. Analysts highlight that Los Angeles is not just a city, it's a hub where deals are made, collaborations happen, and cultural trends are set. Being excluded from that network could impact Drake's ability to capitalize on certain opportunities, collaborate with top artists, or maintain his influence among industry decision-makers. This, according to insiders, underscores the high-stakes nature of the feud and why fans are so captivated by every development. The response from the public has been immediate and intense. Sources claim that online communities are divided, with some praising Kendrick for asserting his authority and setting boundaries, while others criticize Drake for actions that allegedly triggered the ban. Analysts note that this split reflects a broader conversation in hip-hop about power, influence, and accountability, with fans taking sides based on perception, loyalty, and interpretation of events. According to insiders, the situation also illustrates the growing importance of public image, narrative control, and strategic positioning in an era where every move is scrutinized by millions of fans and industry observers. According to sources, the feud has reached a point where industry insiders are closely watching both Drake and Kendrick's next moves. The ban from Los Angeles is not merely a temporary spat. It could have long-term consequences for Drake's career if he doesn't navigate the situation carefully. Collaborators, promoters, and business partners reportedly consider the ban when planning projects, scheduling appearances, or negotiating deals, highlighting the tangible professional impact of what might otherwise be seen as a personal dispute. Analysts suggest that the combination of public backlash, restricted access, and social media amplification has created a perfect storm, where even a small misstep could have major ramifications. As this drama continues to unfold, insiders emphasize that it is about more than just ego. Sources report that it is a clash of influence, reputation, and strategic control, with both artists leveraging their platforms, fan bases, and industry knowledge to assert power. Fans remain glued to every update. Insiders continue to speculate about the next move, and the music industry watches closely, recognizing that the outcome of this feud could reshape access, influence, and hierarchy in Los Angeles and beyond. The stakes are clear. For Drake, navigating Kendrick's ban and public backlash could determine not only his standing in LA but his broader influence in the music industry as a whole. The consequences of Kendrick Lamar's alleged ban reportedly began to ripple through Drake's professional and personal life almost immediately. Sources say that insiders in the industry were caught off guard by the boldness of Kendrick's move, with executives, promoters, and collaborators all reconsidering how to navigate the tension between the two superstars. According to sources, Drake's access to key events, high-profile collaborations, and private industry circles in Los Angeles was suddenly limited, forcing him to rethink strategies for networking, project releases, and even brand partnerships. Analysts suggest that while Drake remains one of the most successful artists globally, the ban represents a significant challenge to maintaining influence in a city where face-to-face connections often define opportunity and power. Reports indicate that the ban was not just a symbolic gesture. It carried tangible implications for Drake's career. Sources claim that certain high-profile events, private industry gatherings, and collaborative opportunities became effectively off-limits. Promoters and label executives reportedly had to navigate carefully, deciding whether Drake could participate without upsetting Kendrick or violating the informal restrictions. Analysts suggest that this unusual situation illustrates a shift in the balance of power. Even a global superstar like Drake can be affected by local influence when it is wielded strategically. The ban, according to insiders, highlights the importance of relationships, respect, and careful navigation in hip-hop's competitive ecosystem. Insiders also say that the fan reaction amplified the intensity of the feud. Clips of Drake's social media posts, Kendrick's cryptic responses, and commentary from influencers circulated widely, sparking heated debates online. Sources indicate that fan communities quickly took sides, with some praising Kendrick for asserting authority and others criticizing Drake for missteps that allegedly led to the ban. Analysts note that social media now functions as both a magnifier and a catalyst in these conflicts, allowing public perception to influence real-world negotiations and professional opportunities. According to insiders, the viral nature of the feud increased pressure on both artists, forcing them to carefully consider every public statement, performance, and post to avoid further escalation. According to sources, the ban has also affected Drake's collaborative strategy. Some artists and producers reportedly hesitated to work with him in Los Angeles, concerned about potential tension with Kendrick or the perception of taking sides. Analysts highlight that collaborations are a key driver of influence, visibility, and cultural relevance in hip-hop, meaning that restricted access to one city could have ripple effects beyond just networking. Sources suggest that Drake's team began seeking alternative opportunities, both domestically and internationally, to maintain momentum and avoid being sidelined by local politics. This adaptation demonstrates the growing complexity of managing a global music career in an environment where influence, relationships, and perception can dramatically impact outcomes. Insiders claim that the professional implications of Kendrick's ban are compounded by the ongoing public narrative. Analysts suggest that being labeled the greatest loser of all time in fan communities and media outlets adds pressure, affecting both Drake's reputation and his ability to negotiate future deals. Sources indicate that executives, sponsors, and collaborators now have to weigh not just talent and reach, but also perception and potential controversy when deciding how to engage with Drake. Social media amplification, viral commentary, and media coverage have effectively transformed a personal feud into a public, career-affecting phenomenon. According to insiders, this highlights the importance of narrative control, strategic communication, and careful management of public perception in modern music. Reports suggest that Drake's team is reportedly strategizing a response, balancing the need to maintain relevance and influence with the necessity of respecting Kendrick's asserted boundaries. Sources say that legal advisors, managers, and PR specialists are evaluating the situation, considering everything from public statements to event attendance and project timing. Analysts suggest that this level of strategic planning reflects the high stakes of the feud. One misstep could further limit access, amplify backlash, or create professional friction in a city that plays a pivotal role in shaping trends, collaborations, and cultural moments in hip-hop. Finally, insiders emphasize that this feud is about more than personal rivalry. It is a clash of influence, reputation, and strategic positioning. Drake's global success is undeniable, but Kendrick's local control and reputation in Los Angeles create a unique challenge. Sources suggest that the combination of public backlash, restricted access, and industry pressure has created a high-stakes environment in which every action matters. Analysts note that the unfolding drama offers a rare glimpse into how influence, relationships, and perception operate in the music industry, demonstrating that even the biggest stars must carefully navigate power dynamics, public opinion, and professional alliances to maintain their standing. The tension between Drake and Kendrick reportedly intensified as the consequences of the Los Angeles ban began to ripple across the music industry. Sources say that insiders in both camps were on high alert, monitoring not only public statements but also private interactions, collaborations, and industry gatherings. According to insiders, the ban wasn't just symbolic. It was a strategic maneuver designed to send a message about power, influence, and control in one of hip-hop's most competitive cities. Analysts suggest that even globally dominant artists like Drake are not immune to the ramifications of local authority when it is exercised decisively, and this moment has drawn widespread attention from executives, promoters, and collaborators. Reports indicate that the ban's effects were immediately tangible in Drake's professional opportunities. Sources claim that event organizers, producers, and artists began recalculating potential collaborations, considering the risk of backlash or tension with Kendrick's circle. Some insiders even suggest that deals were postponed, meetings rescheduled, and appearances reconsidered, all because of the uncertainty surrounding Drake's access to LA. Analysts note that this reflects a larger truth in the music industry. Influence and reputation are intertwined, and even the most successful global star can be impacted by strategic power plays in key markets. The ban, sources say, has made clear that relationships, credibility, and timing are as important as talent. According to insiders, fan reaction has played a critical role in escalating the situation. Clips, posts, and commentary about Drake being called the greatest loser of all time circulated rapidly, with millions dissecting every interaction, lyric, and social media post. Sources report that online discourse intensified the stakes, forcing both artists and their teams to account for public perception in every move. Analysts highlight that social media now functions as a force multiplier in disputes like this. Viral attention can amplify pressure, influence collaboration decisions, and even affect contractual negotiations. The constant public scrutiny reportedly forced Drake to carefully manage appearances, statements, and online activity to avoid further escalation. Insiders claim that Kendrick's strategic positioning has been deliberate. Sources suggest that by asserting control over access to LA, Kendrick not only protected his own reputation, but also reinforced his influence among collaborators, industry executives, and emerging artists. Analysts suggest that this move demonstrates the power of local dominance in a city that is a hub for music deals, cultural influence, and networking opportunities. According to insiders, Kendrick's decision has reshaped the competitive landscape, forcing Drake and others to reassess strategies and recognize that even global success does not guarantee unrestricted access to key industry circles. Reports also indicate that the fallout is affecting behind-the-scenes negotiations. Sources claim that Drake's team has been actively strategizing ways to navigate the ban, weighing options from public statements to international collaborations that bypass LA entirely. Analysts note that this kind of strategic maneuvering underscores the stakes. Missteps could further damage reputation, reduce collaborative opportunities, or even create long-term friction with key industry players. Fans remain captivated, following every development and speculating on the next move, while insiders continue to monitor the situation closely, understanding that the feud could set precedent for how influence and access are managed in the music business. Social media continues to magnify every action and reaction. Sources report that online engagement has created an environment where perception is as important as reality, with every post, story, or comment potentially influencing public opinion and industry decision-making. Analysts suggest that this dynamic highlights a modern reality in hip-hop. The interplay between online narrative, local influence, and professional opportunity can be as consequential as creative output itself. For Drake, navigating the backlash while maintaining relevance and industry standing requires careful strategy and precise timing. Finally, insiders emphasize that this feud is about more than just ego. It's a clash of influence, reputation, and strategic positioning. Kendrick's ban demonstrates that even global artists must respect local authority and relationships, while Drake's response, or lack thereof, could define his future access, collaborations, and public perception. Analysts conclude that this high-stakes battle offers a rare window into the modern music industry, where power, visibility, and reputation intersect in ways that can redefine careers, influence, and cultural impact for years to come. The aftermath of Kendrick's alleged ban reportedly intensified as Drake's access to Los Angeles began to shrink, and insiders say the impact reached far beyond just personal pride. Sources claim that the music industry in LA operates on a delicate network of relationships, and Kendrick's move sent a shockwave through this ecosystem. Executives, promoters, and collaborators reportedly started recalibrating their decisions, weighing whether associating with Drake could jeopardize opportunities with Kendrick's influential circle. Analysts suggest that this scenario illustrates a growing reality in hip-hop. Local influence can rival global fame, and strategic positioning can dictate access, deals, and collaborations. Drake, despite his massive global following, suddenly faced limitations in one of the most critical music hubs, forcing his team to rethink how to maintain momentum while navigating a high-stakes environment. According to insiders, the ban also triggered a flurry of private negotiations and industry maneuvering. Sources claim that promoters and label executives were evaluating how to structure events, collaborations, and appearances in a way that minimized friction with Kendrick's circle while still leveraging Drake's star power. Analysts note that these behind-the-scenes decisions are rarely visible to fans, but they carry enormous consequences for career trajectory, revenue, and cultural influence. Reports suggest that some planned collaborations were delayed or restructured, and in some cases, other artists hesitated to take sides, knowing that aligning with Drake could impact their relationships with Kendrick and other influential figures in LA. Social media continued to magnify the drama. Clips of Drake's performances, posts, and fan reactions went viral, with millions weighing in on the feud. Sources report that hashtags, memes, and discussion threads proliferated across platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, intensifying the narrative that Drake had become the greatest loser of all time. Analysts say that this virality created both pressure and opportunity. Public engagement amplified attention on the feud, forcing both artists and industry executives to consider perception as a factor in decision-making. Fans dissected every interaction, while insiders monitored the sentiment closely, understanding that online narratives can directly influence professional opportunities and collaborations. Insiders indicate that Kendrick's strategic approach went beyond just limiting Drake's access. Sources suggest that he reinforced his influence among peers, collaborators, and industry gatekeepers by demonstrating control over who could operate within the LA music scene. Analysts argue that this sends a clear message to other artists. Power, respect, and strategic positioning in key hubs matter just as much as global fame. Drake's response, or lack thereof, reportedly became a topic of discussion among executives, promoters, and media outlets, highlighting that reputation management and strategic decision-making are critical components of sustaining influence in the modern music industry. Reports also claim that Drake's team began exploring alternative strategies to maintain visibility, momentum, and revenue outside of LA. Sources say that international collaborations, virtual events, and high-profile projects in other cities became focal points for navigating the band. Analysts note that this adaptation reflects a broader trend in hip-hop. Artists increasingly rely on global platforms, digital distribution, and cross-market collaborations to mitigate the impact of local conflicts or restrictions. While fans remained captivated by the feud in Los Angeles, insiders emphasize that Drake's team recognized the importance of maintaining relevance and influence elsewhere, ensuring that one city's limitations wouldn't derail his career trajectory. Insiders emphasize that the feud's consequences extend beyond business. They affect perception, credibility, and strategic positioning. Analysts suggest that Drake being labeled the greatest loser of all time in fan circles could have tangible ramifications for future collaborations, sponsorships, and industry relationships. Social media has transformed perception into power, forcing artists to navigate public narrative carefully. According to sources, every move Drake made, from posts to appearances, was scrutinized, forcing his team to act strategically to protect both reputation and long-term career prospects. By this stage, sources say it became clear that Kendrick's ban had reshaped the dynamics of influence in Los Angeles. Analysts argue that this feud is not merely a personal conflict but a case study in modern music industry power dynamics. Reputation, access, and strategic influence now hold as much weight as talent and fan base. Fans, insiders, and executives alike watched closely, recognizing that the resolution, or escalation, of this feud could redefine access, collaboration, and perception for one of hip-hop's most globally recognized stars. Drake's next moves would determine whether he could reclaim influence or continue to face limitations in one of the world's most critical music markets. As the saga unfolded, insiders say the stakes for Drake continued to rise, with the alleged LA ban affecting not only his access to the city's music hubs, but also his influence, collaborations, and public perception. Sources indicate that the repercussions extended across multiple facets of his career, with promoters, collaborators, and industry insiders all re-evaluating how to navigate a situation that had grown from a personal feud into a full-blown professional crisis. Analysts suggest that this moment demonstrates how even globally dominant artists can be impacted by strategic power plays in key local markets, highlighting the importance of relationships, timing, and respect in the modern music industry. According to sources, the public narrative surrounding Drake intensified the pressure. Clips of his reactions, cryptic posts, and fan commentary flooded social media, generating millions of interactions and fueling the narrative that he had become the greatest loser of all time. Analysts emphasize that in today's music industry, public perception can directly influence career opportunities, collaborations, and sponsorships. Sources claim that executives were forced to account for the viral attention when making decisions about events, collaborations, and partnerships, illustrating how social media has become a powerful tool in shaping professional dynamics. The pressure, insiders say, was relentless, forcing Drake and his team to carefully strategize every move. Industry insiders also report that Kendrick's influence grew stronger as a result of the ban. Sources suggest that by asserting control over access to LA, Kendrick not only reinforced his reputation among peers and collaborators, but also sent a message about the importance of respect, leverage, and strategic positioning. Analysts argue that this move demonstrated that even global fame cannot guarantee unrestricted access to key industry circles when local authority is exercised decisively. Drake's team reportedly recognized that navigating this environment would require precision, discretion, and strategic engagement with both allies and neutral parties to maintain influence. Reports indicate that the ban also caused a ripple effect in Drake's professional collaborations. Some artists and producers hesitated to work with him in LA, concerned about potential tension with Kendrick's circle or the perception of taking sides. Sources claim that alternative strategies, including international projects, virtual collaborations, and partnerships in other cities, became essential for maintaining relevance and momentum. Analysts suggest that these adaptations reflect a broader trend in modern hip-hop, where artists must leverage global platforms, digital distribution, and cross-market strategies to mitigate the impact of localized conflicts while continuing to grow their influence. Social media, insiders say, amplified every move and reaction. Fans dissected posts, performances, and interactions, debating the feud and scrutinizing the fallout. Analysts highlight that viral engagement now functions as a multiplier in conflicts. It can enhance influence or magnify setbacks depending on perception. Sources suggest that Drake's team had to navigate this landscape carefully, balancing transparency with strategy, while mitigating risks to reputation and credibility. Every statement, appearance, or performance became a calculated move in a high-stakes battle for relevance and influence. According to insiders, the situation also triggered reflection within the broader industry. Executives, promoters, and artists reportedly examined the implications of Kendrick's strategic ban, recognizing that power, access, and reputation in key hubs like Los Angeles can define professional opportunities regardless of global stature. Analysts note that this feud is illustrative of a larger trend in music. Influence is no longer determined solely by talent or popularity, but by strategic relationships, local authority, and narrative control. Drake's handling of the ban could set precedent for how conflicts and power dynamics are navigated in the industry moving forward. Finally, sources suggest that the feud's long-term implications are still unfolding. Analysts argue that the combination of restricted access, public backlash, and strategic positioning has created a high-stakes environment where every decision matters. Drake's ability to reclaim influence, maintain collaborations, and navigate public perception will determine whether he can overcome this challenge or continue to face professional limitations in one of hip-hop's most critical markets. Fans, insiders, and executives alike remain riveted, knowing that the next move in this feud could reshape careers, collaborations, and cultural influence for years to come. The Drake versus Kendrick feud isn't over, and the fallout from the Los Angeles ban is only getting more intense. Fans, industry insiders, and artists are watching closely, knowing that every move, post, and performance could shift the balance of power in hip-hop. If you want to stay updated on every shocking development, insider revelation, and behind-the-scenes strategy, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. From reputation-crushing setbacks to strategic comebacks, this story isn't just about drama. It's about influence, power, and career-defining decisions. We'll break down every clip, every statement, and every reaction to show you how this feud could reshape the music industry forever. The next chapter in Drake and Kendrick saga is about to explode, and you won't want to miss a single moment of the action, the tension, and the high-stakes power plays that are shaking hip-hop to its core.